My name is Joshua Leight, and I'm the principal at Pennell Elementary School. This is my 8th year teaching in Penn-Delco, or working in Penn-Delco. I taught for 4 years at Parkside Elementary School before becoming the principal there for 1 year, and now I'm in my 3rd year in the principalship at Pennell. Public education is what prepares a community to take over that next generation. So many of our Penn-Delco graduates stay in this community, and their success in life beyond the classroom is in large part to how their families work with our schools and, thrive under our teachers and under the leadership in our schools. Public education is the most important. It's the lifeblood of everything that we do in our lives. It provides us, for so many families, it gives them the basic needs that they wouldn't otherwise have. But it also provides families the safety and security of knowing that their kids are with people that love them when they go to work every day. And it gets them ready to be contributors long beyond they leave us. I guess I can best explain my duties as principal as I explain them to a kindergartner. I'm in charge of making sure that we are all safe and healthy, which this year is more important than ever before. I'm in charge of making sure that all of us are happy and enjoy our daily lives here, whether you're a staff member or a child. And I'm in charge of making sure that all of us are learning every single day to the expectation that our state has for us, but also the expectation that our community has for us. My peers and I, we collaborate every single day. I'm really confident in them, and I've learned so much from them over the years, both as a teacher, when Mrs. Ford was my principal at Parkside, but now working closely with the elementary team every day and the greater administrative team to provide a high quality educational experience for our kids. It's been a real pleasure and a blessing. My first day as a teacher at Parkside is a day that stayed with me, continues to stay with me, less so now that I'm here at Pennell, but especially over at Parkside. I had previously taught in Philadelphia, and on my first day at Parkside, I knew that I needed to come in with a rigid, no excuses management style that would make sure that I had the classroom management system on which I could build upon from day one. So my students went out to recess my first day at Parkside, and when they went out, I looked around the classroom and noticed there were pencils on the floor, desks were ajar, chairs not pushed in. And with my cell phone, I walked around the room just taking pictures of these little things that I wanted to make sure my students knew were not acceptable. And when I brought my students back into the room, I had projected on the smartboard my phone, and I had the pictures of the things that were, left in the classroom a mess. And it didn't take long as I stood there silently and sternly, as I always am, very intimidating. It didn't take long for the kids to realize what they were looking at. And within seconds, the room was clean and perfect, and they were sitting there, hands folded, looking up at me. When I scrolled one too many pictures too far back in my phone to a picture I had actually taken that morning of a squirrel stealing peanut butter from my recycling bin. I was living in Philly at the time. And then the successive pictures as I was chasing after that squirrel. And my students just thought it was a riot. And, Parkside is a small, tight-knit community, little school with a big heart. And every year I had so many siblings. Just my 3rd year, for example, I had 7 siblings of kids I had had in the previous 2 years. And they would not let me live this down. And they constantly, brought up my love-hate relationship with squirrels. And it was a really silly and memorable way for me to connect with what ended up being an entire student body when I became the principal there. Great memories there, great memories here at Pennell too. In Penn-Delco, we are extremely blessed to have a perfect partnership between our staff, our children, and our families. And when these 3 groups work together in tandem, that's really what creates a fantastic, enriching public school experience American Education Week is a great time to stop and focus on what matters most, each other and our kids. This year, more than ever, we are tired as educators, we are exhausted as parents. It's a good time to stop and reflect on why we do this and just how important it is. So a tremendous thank you to every educator, every parent, and every kid making this work this year.